Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton Daily Live Monday after a disappointing end to what had been a decent Everton performance, actually, at the weekend. Thought the game plan was right. And just at the end, Jordan Pickford made an error, and that was it. That was the difference. The second one's, again, Pickford.
Greatest ever goal.
Apparently,
Greatest ever in the history.
If Jordan Pickford had jumped at Martinelli, it wouldn't have happened, but that's football, and that's the way it is. Good luck to the lad. Took it well, but it was over, wasn't it? It didn't matter either way. It was done anyway. But, I mean, what did you make of the overall performance?
Yeah, good again. Compact, but with an edge. And I think that's what we've shown away from home this season, isn't it? It's not like 10 men behind the... I mean, go back just over 12 months ago. And of course, we got a point there where you're holding on for your life. I honestly didn't feel like they were going to score. I didn't feel like they were going to score again. I felt like they'd used up all their moments, and it was just one silly mistake. And the sad thing is, you sort of see it in real time, don't you? You see him as soon as he comes off his line, you know what's going to happen. Felt very much like the Bournemouth goal. And we didn't deserve that. We didn't deserve it, and they didn't deserve it, and they don't deserve all that fanfare. And Everton, how Everton played, I think Moyes got it right afterwards when he spoke about it. He said, like, at half time to them, he said, this all counts for nothing if you don't go out and do something. Like, if you want to be considered a good team, you've got to get something here. Like, there's no point just going, oh, we played well. No one's going to care. No one cares. All the headlines about Arsenal have pulled it off. They've got a good win when they shouldn't have. And, you know, the lads become the youngest. It's James Vaughan, I feel for, really. You know, and that's where Everton have got to... That's where I think Moyes is absolutely spot on, although he plays his part in it as well. He's got to hold his hand up in this as well. That's where, if you want to be recognised as that team that people go, oh, okay, you've got to get something out of that game. You can't just get a glorious defeat.
No, I'm with you. I felt exactly the same. In fact, when that cross went in, I thought, thank God for that. Great. What a terrible cross. And then I seen Superman and thought, here we go again, and that's how it happened. But I just don't understand why he does it. I didn't understand it against Bournemouth. I didn't understand it on Saturday. Stays on his line, he's got a cat, he's on it, and we're on the attack. It was just... But he saved us so many times, so it just is what it is. But Illiman and Jai, you've got to stop crosses coming in. Bournemouth equaliser, half-hearted. That one on Saturday, half-hearted attempt to go and stop the cross.
Well, I also, though, you got to question the manager at that point of view as well. If Njai's got nothing left, you've got to take him off. Like, the manager's subs were awful on Saturday, and we all know it's like one of his biggest issues. Like, if Njai's not doing it, then just take him off. The two subs late on, I thought were just didn't work, because I thought they come so late on in the game for what they were brought on to do. They need 5 minutes to catch up and to get into the game. I know it's late on in the game, but they've already made subs, and their subs are up to speed. And the lad, obviously, who's come on as sub has been the game changer. You've got to allow people, especially when they are like tactical subs as well, as in like you are here to close down the space, not necessarily do anything on the ball. And I just think Harrison Armstrong, he wasn't into the game by then. Malin Roll had hardly done anything, and then we saw George come on after they'd scored, which was just really, really pointless. You've got to start trusting your team, your whole squad, to say, right, you've seen what the game plan is, get on there and make sure you continue that. But I think that has to happen on the 75th minute. And I do understand it's that side of it where it's like, we hold what we've got and everyone's doing their job, but then it only takes one player to switch off. It only takes Njai not to run that extra yard because he's feeling the 90 minutes he's already put in, or the 85 minutes he's already put in. And that's where the manager's got to take some responsibility, I think, for me.
I'd have put George on. I love Harrison Armstrong, absolutely love him, but I wouldn't have put him on at that stage.
He's a stretch them.
If you're looking, you're going, well, you're creeping forward, so we want to turn you the other way. Not we're keeping what we've got. I just didn't understand. I understood the role one to a certain extent, but Tim Irobuena was excellent. Yeah. So we took him out.
Well, why not put James Garner in centre midfield and put Patterson on right back?
He's never doing that. But yeah,
no, I know,
you
but
could,
that makes more sense, doesn't it? If you want to keep hold of what you've got, put passes in at right back and put Garner in midfield and take because that makes more sense to me. That.
But I do personally would have had Tariq on just to go look. 10 minutes here, just run down the side, say to people, just turn them, keep knocking it. They'd gone, their heads had gone, Arsenal. They knew there was no way through. They weren't really getting any joy. Gyökeres had that one touch, hadn't he, when he scored? You know, in the next minute, the ball's rolling along a goal line. I mean, imagine that kind of good fortune. But it's just frustrating because they, like you just said, they work so hard. Thought the two centre-backs were excellent. Keane was excellent. O'Brien was excellent. I mean, we generally are when Jay plays centre-back. And it was comfortable. Dwight had a good first half, done nothing in the second half and was knackered. So he left them on 10 minutes longer than he should have. And he was knackered, the lad. He was running everywhere. You have to change that, freshen it up. Arsenal went for it, and you understand they're a better team, better players, more attacking manager. They went for it. But didn't really, if you look at it, it didn't actually make any difference what they did. They weren't getting any chances. Dowman was just passing the ball 3 yards and do anything. He didn't do anything. There's been lot, and good luck to he's 16, so good luck to the lad. He's a huge talent, but at the weekend he didn't really do anything. So that cross should have just been meat and drink, and it wasn't. We don't close it down. Goalkeeper goes missing. It ends up in the net, and then you bring in George on. It should have been done. One safe one and one wild card to go. Now we're going to actually drop everyone in and leave Barry there, not George. I'm just going to play long for the last 10 and just keep turning you, making you have to worry about it.
Especially because both centre forwards were so
innocuous.
Yeah, they were both just not in the game. And I thought when Barry came on, I mean there's other stuff, but we know when Barry came on, he just didn't do anything.
I liked seeing Barry, but at the weekend he may as well not even come on because he done nothing. Beto started off all right and then just disappeared from the game. It's like, what is going on? Neither
of those two players will be our starting centre forward next season.
I doubt it. One won't be, and the other one will have to improve big time. And he's going to have to go and do 3 weeks with Bayern Munich and get whatever drinks they do.
Get him with Lewandowski.
Get him in and Goretzka, and the next minute come back with, like, because he's going to have to be big and he's massive. He's going to have to be big and strong. He can't come on and look like a little boy.
He gets bullied.
He can't. It's just not good enough. So we're going to have to. It's why I understand that the lap shouts from, the lap interest from Moyes. It's why I understand that, because he's too much the other way at times. But I also think we need a footballing centre forward. We need a lad, saying last week or the week before, name the last good football, not good striker, because we've had lads who don't include Dom, because Dom was a bit of both, but who's the last good striker we had who could take it into feet, do something himself, play it? We haven't had one probably since Rom, and Rom wasn't even amazing at that, but he was way better than anyone we've had since. You have to look back and go, I'm going back years and years and years to have a footballer. Maybe Richie when he played through the middle, and we saw how good he was yesterday. Maybe you just go and get him back, but you look at it and go, I'd love Everton to have a strat, and it might be, I said this last week or whenever it was, it might be Troy Parrott, who's like Harry Kane light, in terms of he's someone who can take the ball and drop and play it off and get back in, or it might be someone we haven't looked at or whatever. But I think we're going to need either a real centre forward who can bully people, who's powerful, but I would love to see an actual footballer.
An intelligence to drop off and pick the ball.
And good at taking the ball off and run with it. We haven't got any.
The pair of them were terrible. Like, you can't make any excuses for them. And I think with Barry, lots of people's patience, footballing wise, let me just stress, just went on Saturday because he was terrible. Like, it allowed them.
So was Beto, though.
No, Beto
should know better.
Everyone knows my opinion.
On
Beto. Beto had a little bit of chaos factor about
early
him.
On.
But both of them, Moyes must just be like, what's the point? Barry came on and he was woeful. Everything bounced off him and it allowed Arsenal to step up another 5 yards. And what you need in that instance is someone who can, and this is why I've been banging the drum about having an ala sitting on the bench who can get on the pitch, who can, I've mentioned Danny Welbeck a few times in a style of a centre forward who just
not many of him around,
understand how you just get hold of the ball and then you drop it into the midfield, or you get it wide and you turn. The pair of these haven't got a clue, and Moyes just must be scratching his head. And I think if Moyes had his choice, he'd bin both of them. Because I personally find it very... Because I think with Barry, we all saw, you know, him going up and going up and going up, and he started scoring goals, and he's just absolutely plateaued.
He can't play off the bench, Barry. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
When he comes on, very rarely, I know he come on against Newcastle and got the winner with his arse, I know that. And he was all right, but in general, if you look across the season, his best performances have been when he started the game in general. Some players just don't get into it when they come on.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, he was really poor. Beto was really poor. It was like, you start off knocking them about a bit, and they were looking a little bit, you know, Gabriel's doing that little thing where he gets a touch and he jumps and his feet are coming off. It's nonsense. 6'5" or whatever he is. And Beto should be thinking, I'm doing this all day. Because he wasn't doing anything that'd get him booked or whatever, and he doesn't. He just gets less and less and less effective. And then the manager puts Barry on, and he doesn't get into it. Now, maybe he should have put Barry on 15 minutes earlier and give him a proper go at it and gone, right, but you have to get on and get hold of it, and you have to run in behind it or start winning headers in the air. But right now, for whatever reason, he's gone back to Beto, and it's damaged Barry.
There's a lot of talk, isn't there? There's like a lot of talk of like, when people talk about like chances created and expected as goals and all this, about the two centre forwards, and like they're all both on par where they should be for the expect. But it's the other side of the game. It's what we talk about all the time. It's the other side of the game. It's in-game intelligence to bring other players into the game. In a game like that, when you're not going to have the ball and when you're getting desperate, and let's be honest, the likes of Jake O'Brien, they're not the most cultured players in the world, so they are just going to put their foot through it.
Yeah.
You know, we know that. You know, Michalenko's going to put his foot through it more than, you know, James Garner playing right back's got a little bit more about him, but they're more likely to just put their foot through it. And you need a centre forward who's going to get in there and stick their arse into the defender and give you something to play off. And once the second half coming, it just kept on coming back and coming off and coming back. And then you're looking at Njai then to be the player then that holds it up for you. And we know we lost a lot with not having Jack Grealish and being able to have that player. But your centre forward should always be that number one player, always. It doesn't matter what kind of centre forward they are. For a Moyes team, you have to have a centre forward who can hold on to the ball and give you that little bit of breathing space. And neither of them these are doing. And I think Saturday, I think there's a large section of the fan base have just like gone, that's Barry done for them as well. And I don't
He's
know.
not done though, is he? Because he'll score and he'll change.
I don't know but I don't know how you get that trust back apart from having good performances. And if he's not on the pitch to give those good performances, then that's what.
But why have they gone just because he was poor? Well, so there was a lot who come on and do nothing. McNeil done nothing second half, but people will be scrambling to try and like defend him or whatever. You know, played really well in the first half and disappeared in the second half. So we can't be having that either. I just think people go too early for me with some of our players. You know, I've seen a few here in the comments, sell them, get them. It's just that, to me, is crazy as well. But we need another strike. We need two in the summer. I've said it for ages. Yeah. We need one who can do more than one thing. We need another one who's a genuine threat through the middle. And then keep Barry for another year and see. If this time next year we're saying the same thing, get him gone. Because you've got to let him out. This is the year. How do you develop in the summer? Do you come back stronger? Are you ready to have a go? Then you see.
I just don't know if he's got the mentality.
I know, we'll that's the problem. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't think Everton get anything for him anyway, so selling him is not a sort of a realistic thing for me. But you might be right, maybe he hasn't, I don't know. I don't know whether this league's just too physical for him. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, we need another one, because the two of them aren't doing what we need them to do.
No.
You know, Barry's always played in the two, don't forget as well. So coming into the Premier League in a one, when it's as physically strong as it is, what he's got right now hasn't got the tools to cope. So that is all about personal development. How do I get... Mainly, McNeil wasn't our best player in any universe, mate. He was good in the first half and he disappeared in the second half. Come on. If we're going to have a conversation, let's have a serious one. It's just that people are mad. They're mad.
We had our best two chances, but he certainly wasn't
that best. One was from 30 yards, which is what he's at. That's his pair. And his other one, he should have scored.
Yeah, he should have scored.
You know, Barry had missed it, that had been murder.
Yeah, he
So, Michael Keane was our best player. Let's be perfectly honest about it. Keane was excellent and O'Brien was the second best. So come on, let's interview him. If we're being serious, if we're going to have a serious conversation, let's do it. But that's why I want to have football and centre forward. I want someone who can take the ball in, turn, go at players, play it off. Jermaine Beckford said last week, talking about, obviously, because he goes to Leeds, he's a big Leeds fan, isn't he, or whatever, because he was at Leeds, but also Everton. But he was talking about the difference between Calvert-Lewin and the Mets, yeah. I'm not quite convinced on the Mets yet, I wouldn't have him, but he said the difference between Everton's two and their two. He said, when you watch the other two for Leeds, they come and link the play. He said, they then go and get themselves right in the middle. He said, Everton's come and link the play and just sort of jog in. Yeah. And sometimes they want to get in, and other times it's like, it's something I scream at track for. When you've come and linked the play, get in the middle where the goals. But ours don't.
I don't think.
And there's no natural run into there.
I don't think Barry understands the size of what it takes. No, maybe the pitch. Yeah. I don't think he understands the size of what it takes to be an Everton centre forward. I really don't. I just think I just look at him sometimes and just think, you haven't got it, mate. You don't understand this football club. You don't understand the fan base, and you don't understand what it'll take to be a centre forward in this league, like the extra stuff you're going to have to do. Because I look at a player that we signed in the summer, and I don't see much difference physically, and I think that's the number one thing you have to do. You have to bulk up, and you have to be prepared to fight. Now, people might say he was up against two of the best centre backs on Saturday, sound, but he's also 8 months into it, at playing in the Premier League or being at Everton. You've got to be able to fight, and I just see a lad who I just think you'd probably be a little bit happier playing in Italy or Spain, where there's less intensity on you on the pitch and off the pitch. And yeah.
But then I look at Gyökeres and he was 70 million. I know he's got his 10th of the season. Was your 5 penalties? The lad didn't touch the ball.
No,
they paid 70 million.
Listen,
and a lot of our fans are.
I think he's a bang average player who gets a lot more chances because he plays for Arsenal. I think he's got 16 in total, but as you said, he's got penalties. But I think with him as well, I think you look at him and think to yourself, he probably can't believe the situation he's in. So he's absolutely making the most of it. And what I mean by that is physically making sure.
Oh yeah, he's
big
powerful,
powerful lad. And don't get me wrong, he's what, 27. So he's been, he's been at he was at Coventry. He understands. He's been down and come back up again and understands what an opportunity this is to be playing as Arsenal's number 9 and a team that's probably going to win the league. I'm not sure Barry understands
No.
I'm not sure he understands the magnitude of being an Everton centre forward.
This is where I don't understand with the manager. Go and get Reunion, right, as a striker coach or something. Even if it's just a part-time basis for now, and then you can chase it if it doesn't work. Or get Dunk back, or get someone, go and look for a real. But the reason why I've named them two, right, one's one of the greatest, well, probably the greatest footballer England's ever produced, and the other one understands the physical battles in the Premier League, right, and see whether you can make them understand what you have to do as a centre forward. It might not work, but we're doing nothing to enhance our strikers or our forward player. Forward play's really poor.
Who was it last week? Someone did an interview and he was asked about the two. Who was he? No, not Brentford. He's a fucking crackpot, him. 3 1-on-1s. Do me a favour, mate. Come and watch them all fucking season.
No, what he
bollocks.
What he said was, if you're looking at metrics and you see why someone gets it, that's why you look at them then. He didn't then go and say should sign.
Emperor's new fucking clothes.
He didn't actually, because that was taken out of context as if he was the
I know.
All he said was, when you're looking at them metrics, if a striker can make those runs and get the chances, it makes you go and watch him.
Come and watch him for a year, mate.
I don't put it this way. I don't think Brentford are coming in for better.
An ex-player said last week, he was asked about the managers, asked about who the best man. Who was he? And he said it was at Everton, and he said Dunk. He said because he made Dunk, and again, people can say what they want.
Was it not Calvert-Lewin?
Was it? It might have been.
Dom said.
No,
loads of
it was
times.
someone else last week. Someone tell me in the comments because I mean, mine.
Lukaku? No.
Someone. No, it was recently.
Oh, okay.
Someone said, and he'd said that Duncan made them understand what it meant to play for Everton and what you needed to do to play for Everton. Now, obviously, we've had the stuff with Dom, where Dom said how much he improved him as a centre forward because what you need to do. But who was it? Someone said last week that Dunk made them understand what it was like to play, what it meant to play for Everton.
Who could it have been? It could
who was it?
It wouldn't have been Richarlison.
It was on Sky last week.
It can't have been Shem Tosin.
No.
Was he just talking about playing for Everton or a striker?
It was a bit of both. Who was it? He said it last week.
Walcott?
No, it was more recent than that.
I can't. Just that we haven't had many, have we?
No.
Because it's been Dom.
It was a Wobie. That's it. I actually listened to the Iwobi podcast.
You listened to Alex Iwobi?
I listened to
Was it okay?
It was okay.
Okay,
it was okay. It was good in bits, but then it sort of veered off into a wrong position.
Yeah.
No, nice one.
Done the false press.
It was the Wobie, and he was quite complimentary about Everton. But he said He said literally what we've always said about him. He said, I came up, I didn't really want to be there. They stuck me in the Titanic. It was like hell. And he said, but then eventually, he said, and Dunk made him understand what it meant to play for Everton. And he said that fella was unbelievable. And he said what he told him was like that every day you come in and you have to put everything into it. Like he said, don't get me wrong, I was given 100%. He said, but I wasn't given the right 100%. He was like, we'd go into training and Dunk would want to smashing each other. He said, so I started smashing. We all start. He said, I've done that. And he said, it took me up a level. He said, because it allowed me to play my game and play the other game. And I just think that's what's missing with the likes of Barry, is that Barry doesn't understand that. He still does not have a clue about what we expect as fans. You know, and I know he's got this shoulder problem. And again, they'll probably manage him. But I just don't see that other side of him, that as fan. And the thing about it is, right, people can talk about like modern day football and go, oh, you don't really do that anymore. As a fan base, we still expect our players to do things. And I think most fan bases expect it. But we expect certain things. And we don't like our players rolling around on the floor. And we don't like players just going down after every touch. We like a certain amount of honesty, but we also like them to give a little bit as well. And I think that's where Barry, again, doesn't understand the mentality of our football club and what we expect. How many times has he said, though, about like, I got applauded off the pitch because I'd give everything. And that's all it takes with our fan base. And I think that's where, for me, he doesn't understand. And with the stuff that went on Saturday, and of course we've got no real idea what's actually gone on there, is that the straw that breaks the camel's back for him in terms of like, I'm done with this. But surely he's got to understand that our fan base will not put up. You can't change the fan base. You just can't change it. No matter what anyone thinks of it, their own individual fan base. You can, for good or for bad, you know, people can look at what happened on Saturday and go, they're a disgrace. But you forget that that's the same passion and belief and hunger and desire and, you know, whatever you want to call it, that drove this football club, that our fan base have been mocking in the Tottenham fan base for the last couple of weeks of like, what are you, look out the state of your fan base, this is what we did. So you can't take that away. You can't take that side of your fan base away. And if your players can't cope with that, then they're done. But the ones who can cope with it, they're idolised. Look at Richarlison, what he scored in the goal yesterday, and it's just like you go on social media and Everton fans are like, they've activated relegation Richarlison. The lad who will it's like, you know, you've activated him, haven't you now? Because if you give him that responsibility, he'll say, that was the lad who said, I'm not letting this football club go down and I will break my body. And his body's been broke for 3 years because of that. And that's why Evertonians love him and still love him. And it doesn't matter that he plays for Spurs, Evertonians love him, and a lot of them would have him back in a heartbeat because they know he fully understands what it means to play for Everton. Good, bad, whatever. That lad goes on the pitch and he will drag our football club. And I think Barry doesn't have a clue about that, and he doesn't have a clue about what this fan base is all about. And if you haven't got that, you might as well go away. You might as well leave, because it doesn't matter how much you improve. You can't I don't believe anything. I don't think he understands where he needs to be that Everton player. Because we are. I mean, we look at it and go, we are unique because we don't look from the perspective of other fan bases. But there are certain elements that drive us forward as a fan base and always have been there. They always have been there. When we had our best teams, we had 2 Scottish centre forwards who would smash the life out of, terrify everyone. You know, Peter Reid in the middle, you know, getting retribution on Brian Marwood the year after what he did to
God,
that's always been the psychology of an Everton football club. You know, we look after our own here, and when you go against your own, you're in trouble. And I think that's where Barry finds himself today, is that he went against his own in the eyes of many of our fans, and that's a long way to come back from. And if you're not doing it on the pitch and showing that other side, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
But that's why that's the importance, isn't it, of having people in who sort of get that across to you, reiterate to you, make you understand not only the physical aspect of the game, but that mental side of, look, this is what this club is about. This club, these fans believe they should be winning the league. That's what they believe. It doesn't matter whether you believe it as a player, but these fans believe they should be up there competing, at least trying to win trophies, at least trying to get into Europe. And when you go out, you have to show them that you're giving everything. And if you give everything, they'll back you no matter what, really. They'll back you. If it looks like you're not giving everything, you'll be told. And that's an honesty that you want, isn't it? But you have to earn that right.
It's why someone like if you ask an Everton fan about like the worst players, people will always stand up for like a Nias or a Strakulesi because
at least
they give everything at least. Whereas other players who had a little bit more to them but didn't put the effort in, you'll just go, nah, they were crap. They couldn't be bothered. Look, they just strolled around the pitch. At least players with less give more, and that will always be appreciated by our fan base. And I just think Barry's in real trouble if he doesn't step away from this and go, actually, this is something. If I can't react to this, then I'm in trouble.
Absolutely.
What did you make? Because I know this is a thing and I've seen it in the comments. What did you make of what Moy said about Tarky and Branthwaite? Because I'm very clear about what this is. Very, very clear in my mind. I've seen lots and lots and lots of conspiracy theories. But what do you think it is?
I don't know exactly what it is, but he's fed up with things being leaked. He doesn't like it, but it's dead easy. There'll be a person inside Finch Farm leaking stuff, so find them. It's dead easy. Drop a couple of things, but I love David Moyes, but I do sometimes just think, oh mate, come on. You're being a bit childish.
Yeah, of course he is.
But that's what he does. Yeah. We know that he done it the first time. He will challenge you, and if he doesn't like it, he will certainly have a go. Yeah. And he won't make any bones about it. And that's the way, that's football, isn't it? Obviously, listen, the pair of them have got injuries.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really, I mean, I don't understand why he doesn't just say, we left them out as a precaution. The pair of them, it's after I understand it before, maybe not saying anything, but after it, when he's asked about it, I don't understand why he didn't just say. But listen, he's the manager, and if he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't have to. But I think maybe it would have been easier for him to just say, the pair of them have picked up. You know, believe they both got tight hamstrings or whatever. That's what's doing the rounds. And it's whether or not, you know, Tarky was a late one on Friday. Branthwaite had a tight one. Yeah. So, I don't know. If he doesn't want to confirm that, then fair enough.
He just looked very angry with the whole situation.
He's not happy with stuff being leaked, and that's the way it is, but it's up to him to get a grip of it then. Isn't it? That's what I mean. We'll see. It's that.
Yeah, we've said it for years though, as much as what people want to say about whether it gives anyone an advantage or not. I've said it for years. There's an inner circle, isn't there? Of course, there's an inner trust within football clubs, and if the manager gives the team, and then the team is all over social media the morning of the game. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to, you want every advantage you've got. So you're going to say Branthwaite's fine because you want the opposition thinking Branthwaite's playing. You don't want to give them any encouragement.
It's at the end of the day, though, it's whoever's leaking it.
Yeah.
So it's you can have, I've seen, you can have a go with people who are putting it out there, but someone shouldn't be leaking it to them. It's the person in his inner circle who's the issue. It's not. But I just think he should have just. Me personally, I think I'd have just said, listen, they were both left out as a precaution today. Hopefully we'll have them for Chelsea. I mean, me personally, if I'm looking at it and thinking if what's done the round is accurate and Tahi was O'Brien confirmed it, wasn't it? It was Friday afternoon. Then leave them out for Chelsea as well because they both should be available and for Brentford.
It'll be nearly 7 weeks for Branthwaite then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm for Tahi it'd be 5 or 4.5, whatever. For Brentford, so it gives it the chance to settle down. Keane and O'Brien were excellent at the weekend. Make sure we go into them final 7 games then with every and there's no break then, the one after the other. So we want everyone available, don't we? And that's what you do. Personally, that's what I would do. But we'll see. I mean, listen, it could just be a bit of tightness. Didn't want to risk it, and they're available this weekend. Because there's a break again, but me personally, if it's still sort of just on the cusp of it, I'd leave it and just give them that extra bit of rest and go, right, but we're looking for Brentford because there's 7 games to play, and off we go with it. Chelsea apparently have been given a suspended transfer ban.
1 year suspended transfer ban for 2 years and a £10 million fine.
After breaking 1 million rules.
Illicit payments to agents and other individuals.
Managers.
Been given a 9-month academy transfer ban.
Doesn't actually mean anything to them, does it? They bought 50 players and done it for years and years and years, and we got crazy points deduction for nothing. It's mad. It is a bit crazy. But yeah. Listen, Moyes he's done this before. He's took his coat off and threw it on the ground. He's walked out of a press conference over Victor Anichebe. There's nothing sort of new here. He's entitled to be frustrated and he's entitled to be pissed off. So he'll have his own reasons for saying, I'm not answering any questions about it. So that's fine. I have no issue with it really. But if it was me, I think I might have just said they were left out as a precaution. But he clearly doesn't want to even say that. So, I mean, what have you made of it?
No, I can understand his anger because clearly that's what it was about. I've seen, as I said, that's what it's about, isn't it? He's sick and tired of it being of stuff getting out. It's as simple as that. Whatever. No matter what anyone says, anytime a team gets out early or injury news gets out early, and it's an advantage, but it's also someone breaking. And this is the most important thing. It's someone within Finch Farm breaking confidentiality rules, especially on injuries. That's. I've said this before. My feelings are very clear on this.
Medical records and everything.
Nobody should be putting out there that Everton players are injured. Nobody. I don't give a fuck who they are. That is confidential, and it's also does not help us. How does sticking out there that someone's injured help Everton Football Club? We should be all in this together. I'll never ever understand it, but somebody in Finch Farm needs legging. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, agents or anything.
Yeah, well,
that's the problem.
Once the team's
named,
once the team's named, and a player goes to his agents, but it has to be sorted out because it's not. It doesn't give us. Even if there's like 1%, it hurts us. It hurts us. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. What do you make of the George stuff? Because this is a player who we took on loan with an option. He brought him on an injury time. It's like he didn't get on against Burnley. He got on very late against Burnley, didn't he? Didn't get on at Newcastle.
I think the manager's realised that Ndiaye's best off the left. Just at the moment, I think he's best off the left. Otherwise, we wouldn't have McNeil playing on the right. But if you brought him in on loan, you've got to give him like 15 minutes at least to just see how he can change the game. You can't just be relying on the same people all the time to dig us out of situations. I mean, Pickford's hardly had to make a save in the second half, so why aren't you sticking out your chest going, we'll go for this, especially with the two centre forwards offering nothing. Let's hit the channels in the wide area and drive them deep and then see what happens, get set pieces or whatever. They looked nervy on Saturday from set pieces. Not that we were delivering too many good ones.
I thought that one was in when Barry headed it.
Yeah.
I just expected the net to ripple.
But I just think at times he's more happy. He was happy with the point. I can understand that, but there's no point bringing him on after they'd score. We were never going to score. We were done then.
What a boost that would have been to win the game. No, you're talking a point, and we got beat anyway. Imagine if he'd sort of the last 15 gone for it and somehow we'd have scored the goal and won it.
Well, also that's you're going against himself. What he's saying, isn't he? Because if he's saying to the players at half time, you got to go. This means nothing. But then that relates to you as well. That relates to you being brave and rolling the dice. And I just didn't. The role an Armstrong sub just didn't make any sense to me. The young players, and they're going to take a minute to get up to speed to the game. And by the time that happened, they'd scored the goal. But we've got to be able to stretch the opposition. You've got to have something. And it's not great, is it? It's just not great to bring a player on. The lad's just going to be like, why did I bother? Swap one bench for another.
He's not going to stay, is he?
And you got Tyler Dibble there, who's just completely lost in the whole thing as well, isn't he? So, there is an Everton player that cost a lot of money. So the whole thing's a little bit weird. You've got to roll the dice now and again.
We're going to have to be, I said this in my after match stuff on Saturday, we're going to have to be brave. If we want to get into Europe, we're going to have to chase. We're going to have to go after teams because we're not going to get there trying to grind out points, especially with like Newcastle. They went to Chelsea. Okay, Chelsea battered them, but they won the game. They're capable of doing that. We just don't do that. No. We don't do that. We've won other ones, don't get me wrong, but those big results, Brentford go after teams. I'm not saying Brentford are great, and I actually fancy Everton to beat them when we play them, but they're going to go after teams. And so for us to and Bournemouth do anyway, and they're all in the mix with us. So for us to get a couple, because we're going to need a couple of unlikely wins, probably, aren't we? Or maybe it'll be we can't lose another home game as long as we beat Sunderland. We drew the next three because they're all against. Don't get me wrong, Liverpool are bang average at the moment, and Chelsea are up and down like a bride's fucking 90. So they are capable of getting that. City, although I watched them at West Ham and they weren't great either. So you look at them and go, well, if we could get a point in all three of them, although, I fancy us to beat Chelsea Saturday, but that's a different story. Get a point in all three against them and beat Sunderland, that's 6 points at home. We're going to have to win at least 2 of the away games that we've got. And the 4 we're playing, Brentford, Palace, West Ham, Spurs.
Right.
They're all win. Every one of them is winnable. But the only way we're going to win some of them is if we go for it. Because I think if we sit back, eventually, what happened on Saturday happens, and it might happen after an hour next time, or it might happen after. You know what I mean? You can't really. I just think you've got to make sure the opposition are worried about you, and it can't just be occasionally you get a corner or a free kick. You're gonna have to play win lose a little bit. I think. And this isn't. We played really well Saturday. We got undone by a goalkeeper mistake. Really, that was it. But in general, I just think he's going to have to at some stage go, now we're going for this, and that is Tyree George or Tyler Dibling or whatever it is, whoever it is he brings on to try and chase the game or go at the game and win it. He's going to have to do that. And like you said before, it's great saying to the players, this means nothing. How well you've played if you don't get something. He's part of that to go, this is what's going to flip this in our favour, because everybody else does it. Brentford will throw 3 forward players on at 1-0 or 0-0 or whatever. Bournemouth, we know, do it. They done it at Hill Dickinson. 1 down, they made all of their subs. They were putting attacking players on, they were going for it, whereas we're going to have to do it because we've got attacking players. It can't be containment all the time if you're going to try and get that prize of nicking the European space, which means Saturday was it wasn't, but it was almost like the top of the league going for it. If we lose, they're better than us. But the way it played out wasn't like that, and that's where the frustration comes.
Yeah, and especially we played Brentford. It would be nice if we could get a win on Saturday. Would be huge, wouldn't it? They're playing Wolves tonight, so you fancy them. And that'd be them putting a bit of space between us and them, and so we're going to have to go to Brentford and beat them. And obviously, like you said, there Newcastle have just won 2 on the bounce, so they're in and around it as well. And they've got a decent. Obviously, they've got probably one of the better squads in the mid. So, you don't want to be sitting here at the end of the season, I don't know, 9th place, going, we missed out by 3 points or something, and you're like, if only we'd gone for that game, or if only we've gone for that game. So the away games are favourable. The home games, I mean, the home games, we get to play a style that we play away in some of them, and that might help us. So, but we do need that, just that a little bit extra, and I think that's what was missing on Saturday. But then again, if it had finished 0-0, we all would have gone, that's a really good point. So it's one of those, isn't it? If he'd made attacking subs and we got beat 1-0, people would have gone, why don't we just hold on? As you said, ultimately it's come down to a goalkeeping mistake.
I think if we'd have got caught upfield or something, or it was a worldie, it's just one of them things. It was a really good performance, wasn't it? It was a really good performance, just undone by that. But I'd have done one and the other, you see. I'd have given us the attacking output.
Oh, yeah.
But then also kept it. Irabuna must have been. I didn't think he looked like McNeil was gone. After an hour, McNeil couldn't run, so therefore he should have been replaced. Irabuna, I don't know. He still seemed to be breaking everything up, but the manager must have thought Roll should go in there because he's looking tired. But that's okay, because that's almost like you're trying to protect him. He could have done what you said before, put James Garner in there and gone. But Garner was doing quite well down the side. But I would have definitely threw on Tyreek George just for someone as an outball.
I think the problem is apart from changing the centre forwards, he doesn't have, and I think he did in it. Mail and Roll was this sub early on in the season, but he doesn't have a sub where he feels comfortable putting them on to replace somebody like for like. It's always like something tactical or something related to the game. And I just don't think that's how the game works anymore. You've got to put subs on to replace somebody just because of the sheer effort that someone's put in. And it should just be a lot of the time, it should just be a like-for-like sub to keep the levels really high. And I think in the first half of the season, he was doing that with Mail and Roll quite a lot. He'd take a midfielder off, put Mail and Roll in, and there would be a continuity. Whereas now it feels like it's a reaction to something else. Or Harrison Armstrong comes on, but he's coming on to shore up the wide areas. I mean, what does that? What's that? What is that? If you're taking a wide player off, then at least put another wide player on rather than putting Harrison Armstrong in there. And I think that's where our subs are weird. It's like it's always something reactive or something. It never feels like continuity. Never feels like, well, he's going on just to replace him. Whereas I think that's what other clubs tend to do. It's like, he's done now. He's played 60 minutes. He's done everything he can. Right. Put the next fella on who's in that position, and he'll go up. He'll bring that energy back, but he'll play similar. I just don't think Moyes does that. No. It's very strange.
It is a bit mad. Adam, we just talked about that, haven't we? He just says he thinks he's raging. News gets leaked from certain accounts or whatever telling us. Yeah, but that someone's leaking it to them, so they're the real issue, aren't they? What's inside? But yeah, he was fuming, wasn't he? Sean says, good performance, goalkeeper mistake cost us. You don't come for those, but if you do, you have to get there. It's a shame that we have no quality in the front 2 options, and that's costing us. He says Spurs will be okay now, particularly if Richie stays fit. Well, they'll get knocked out in the midweek, won't they? And then they've got Forest though.
That's the one.
That's the key. If they don't beat them, they bang back into. I mean, they're 1 point ahead of relegation, so I wouldn't look at them and go, they're okay. They've got some bad games, but they do have Forest and Leeds at home. They're the chances to get safe. Blue Jay said, afternoon lads, disappointing result, but I felt one that was very undeserved. We played well and we were a goalkeeping error away from getting a point. If we had strikers, then maybe all 3 would be possible in these sort of games. Right, Loads are asking about the Tieno Barry thing at the weekend, right? I don't know what happened. He's come out and said they weren't Arsenal fans. They were his friends. They go and watch him. They watched them at every club. He said they didn't have Arsenal tops on. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. There's other reports going around that it was different than that, and there's other reports saying those reports saying it was different, but were not accurate either. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the lads put a big statement out saying they weren't Arsenal fans. So I had no idea on it. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. I've heard different things from people who were there. Some backing up Barry, some backing up Everton, whatever happened and all that and everything that's in between. So I don't know. So that's it. That's my take on it. I don't know. I don't know whether you've heard any different than that. It's not something, I'll be honest, that I don't know. I don't know what to say on it. Yeah. Because I wasn't there, so I can't.
No, there's going to be an investigation in the club. The club have put a statement out to some journalists.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. When the journalist asked for it, and it does a thing. I wasn't there. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on because, like you've just said there, you can't. Simple fact is, you can't be sitting in any end that isn't yours with colours on, celebrating if a goal goes in. But I don't know if that happened.
If that did happen, then yeah, that's you're asking for some trouble.
You're asking.
I don't know.
You're asking for trouble. Should that trouble happen? It's football.
It's happened.
It's happened forever. This is football. I've seen Liverpool fans, I've seen Newcastle fans being in the Gladys Street. I've seen exactly what happens to them.
And happens to Evertonians.
Yeah, and it'll happen to Evertonians if they do the same thing. It's football. It's still a majority working class sport. It is just the way it is. I can't sit here going, oh, it's disgusting. It is just what it is. And it's happened forever and it will continue to happen. Were those people with Barry? Were they Barry's friends? Because I don't know. Because I've heard other reports. Tariq George's mates were in there as well, and they might have been the Arsenal fans. But this is the problem. It's all speculation.
Yeah.
It's not, and as I said, I'm not taking anyone's side in it. It doesn't look good for the fans when those videos are going round and there's no context. But even with context, it doesn't look good. But we can't sit here and bury our heads and be like, oh, this is terrible. This is football. It will always be like this, no matter what anyone tries to do.
We went and sat on the cop with an Everton shirt on. And imagine Everton scored a last minute goal, like to be winning or something. We'd get filled in.
Yeah,
we'd get filled in. And I'm not saying that's acceptable, because it is 2026. Of course, it's not acceptable. But football's an emotional game with people who go to and that going the match and all that is a massive thing. It's a big Everton, not a huge thing in people's lives. I remember the fuming at some Liverpool fan at Goodison was sat about 6 seats away from me at the thingy game. Must have been the 4-1 at Benitez. So already wanted to get on the pitch and fucking drag Rafa out that bleeding stadium. But he jumped up when Liverpool scored, and honestly, the only time ever, and it was ridiculous from me, but I wanted to fucking get across the seats and get him, and the stewards kicked him out in the end because I was moaning so much, like it's it. But he kept jumping up, and other people were in the end, people were trying to swing at him from 2 rows away because he kept jumping up and standing there. Now, mate, the stewards dragged him out and he had to leave, but it's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen. If he just sat there, I remember once sat there when Mane scored right at the end, and to be fair, he didn't jump up and laud it, but he clearly wasn't a fucking Everton fan. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't do anything, so nothing happened to him. But don't you? You sit down, you go, fucking hell, we can tell who you support, mate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But if it's gonna. Those players, right? Those players come from different places, don't they? And go. They might have family and friends, and they've got tickets, and give them. If they're not from Liverpool or they're not from England, maybe they're not, or they're just not from Liverpool, maybe. But I imagine if it was Arsenal and they were in the Spurs end and Arsenal scored, there would be a bit of arty-barty. The same as Tottenham fans are in the Arsenal, and it's just it's a difficult. I don't know though. That's my point.
All right. Well, let me just say this, right? And this might go against what, like, some people might think, but I just don't understand how. I was at Arsenal a couple of years ago, and I couldn't believe the amount of players, family, and friends that were in the away end. I couldn't believe how many were there. There was loads of them.
Players do get.
No, I know, but I don't think they should. Not for the away end. Not for the away end. I might be totally wrong, and people might go, well, what do you? But they were there because it was the last game of the season, and there was loads of them. And I know there was loads of them because we stayed after the game a little bit to do my video and stuff, and they all went down to the front, and there was loads of them, like 100 of them, and I was just like, that's 100 Evertonians who are not here today because you right. So I might be wrong in that, right? I might be completely wrong, but I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. We've got massive grounds with massive areas.
Well, I was going to say, I always thought that.
Yeah.
And when I was working at Everton, used to do the tickets, the players' tickets weren't in with the fans.
Yeah.
They were in a section of the ground, and a lot of times it would be in sort of like the director's box or whatever, but I don't know how it's changed.
But I might be completely wrong. I might be completely wrong, and that my opinion might be nonsense. But I just don't think that's Everton fans who can't go and watch their team for someone who's just going to watch their mate. And I just don't agree with that. As I said, I might be completely wrong in that. I just don't agree with that. Personally, I think there's lots of places in the ground where those people can go and watch the game. Now, if it does come out that one of these fans of one of the players, I'm not saying it was Barry, are Arsenal fans, that lad has no control. If his mate says, I want to come and watch it, and he goes, can you get me a ticket? Well, yeah, I'll get you a ticket on the away end. And they don't understand the etiquette of being in any end that isn't your... None of us would go into any home end and act like a dickhead, I don't think. I truly don't believe that. Keep your head down, you don't wear colours, and you don't react. And sometimes that gets you caught by not reacting if you scored or not. But you don't react, you play the game, you're there to watch the game.
I'd have no chance, because I'd be like, oh, bloody hell, Everton, you've done it again.
You've done it again. Oh, well done, Manchester United.
I'd have no chance. I
couldn't do it, and that's why...
That's smirking about
that's why, that's why. And I think as football fans, we understand that as well. We understand that etiquette of, like, we won't come in your end, you don't come in our end, for the most part. Some have obviously done, and we had the thing of the week, and this is where things like Seat Unique are a mockery.
They got to be careful.
Yeah, are a joke, because they allow... And there was loads of Manchester United fans. And
of course, yes. Some got thrown out, didn't he?
But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, if you're a Man United fan, and you come in... I remember being in Leicester City, last game of the season, right? Yeah. And to be... So, they're outside, they've won the league, and they're all begging. And I was happily prepared to sell my ticket. And someone was like, they were like, oh, can I have your ticket? And I went, yeah, mate. This is the price.
$3,000.
And they were like, oh, no, I've been a Leicester fan all my life. Okay. I don't give a monkeys, mate. Because what you're basically saying is, I lose out on money because I've paid for this ticket and you want it for nothing. Anyway, we watched the game, no issues. And at the end of the game, it was like, where the fuck did all these Leicester fans come from? But you know what? They didn't say a word during the game. And they kept their head down, and they just watched the game. And that's the right way. And that's the right way to do it. And at the end of the game, they got their opportunity to celebrate with their club. And loads of Evertonians would have made a fortune that day. And fair play to them. It was a Nottingham game for us, and they would have made a fortune. But those Leicester fans kept their heads down and just were like, if I keep my head down here, I get to celebrate at the end. That's the etiquette. And that was a complete one-off. I totally get that. But there's no way on earth, and this is the problem, and this is where maybe Everton have got to look at the situation, because what will happen is, and I guarantee this, what will happen is, they'll look at it the other way and go, how do we tighten up our ticket allocation for our fans? Because we need to know who was there. If Someone might get identified and their ticket get identified and it's Joe Bloggs, and then Joe Bloggs go, well, I bought it, but I sold it on. And Everton will go, that's not happening anymore. You buy a ticket, you're going. If you don't go, then you're not buying a ticket. And we'll make sure, because we've got all the details and we'll sort that out now, so you can't go. But for me, if a player, and there's been something like this, and a player is identified, and they will have all the cameras. They'll know someone's wore an Arsenal shirt. They'll know if someone's...
Well, they're doing an investigation.
Exactly, they'll know if someone's cheered. Well, for me, if they find out that an Everton player friend has gone the game and antagonised Evertonians, then that player should be lashed. No tickets for them. And then if it is someone who's on loan, let's just say, then you'd have to have a think about their future at their football.
I think listen, that to me is a bit extreme, but that should be like the sort of the bar. That should be the thing of like, look, this doesn't happen again. Yeah. So if you're, maybe this should be happening anyway, because with players, do you know what I mean? Maybe the family shouldn't really go in with the fans. They need to find a place at every ground. And this is on the responsibility of every Premier League club. So when teams come to Hill Dickinson, Everton have got, maybe it's 50 tickets somewhere, and they're for the opposition team and family members. And it's tough titty if you've got 4 mates that want to come, but you've only got 2 tickets. Take it off one of your teammates or whatever, but you can't have. You want them so they can sit together. And maybe that's how you do it. Because obviously we seen earlier in the season at Leeds, didn't we? Jack Harrison's dad fighting with Leeds fans, and he was playing for Leeds, because obviously some Leeds fans weren't having him. At Forest, I think it was. He was in the end with them. But I couldn't believe that dad was in the end, and that's a lad playing.
We've heard this before, though. We've heard this about Dominic Calvert-Lewin's dad.
Oh, a filler.
We've heard this about other players' family members.
Yeah.
Right, again, it's not right. You can put it on one side and say it's not right that, but football fans, wherever they are, they pay their money, and part of paying your money is you're allowed to go, and as long as it doesn't overstep.
The line,
But part of being a football fan is you are allowed to express your feelings, you are allowed to boo, you are allowed to criticise, you are allowed to sit there and go, I think so and so's not good enough, with other words. And not have to worry that the person next to you is related to them, so takes it personally. And I just think that's what you get when you mix away. We know what away fans are. They're obviously, we know how good our away fans are, but it comes with an element of people have been out having a bevy, and if they've enjoyed the day, they pay a lot of money to go to these matches, and it's exactly, and they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to censor themselves on what they think of a player in terms of their performance. And if they think someone's played shite, they shouldn't have to worry about the fella next to them going, hey, that's my son. I'm sorry, but what are you doing in our end if you're going to get personal about...
If you're going to get offended.
You're going to get offended. And I think, listen...
I can't pass the family members not getting offended off, though. If any of us, if it was our relation and we're there and someone's going, he's fucking crap, he's not good, you would be like, gonna fucking pipe down. You would do.
You would, but then you shouldn't
natural defences. No,
but you shouldn't put yourself in that situation.
No, but I personally, if Zach was playing and he was like,
you'd be the one calling him crap.
No, but calling him crap. No, what I mean is, if he was playing and he went, I'd be like, nah, mate, I want to go somewhere neutral, not in with the fans, because you might be clapping, like, it'll wind me up if I hear them calling you, or whatever, do you know what I mean? So maybe this might hopefully make club, not just Everton, this will happen at every Premier League
ultimately
club,
right, and this has got to be the way people might watch this and go, well, you're banging. Ultimately, right, what good comes of it? What good comes of someone's mates who have got no affiliation with the football club, or someone's family who are just like, oh, well, this is just your club this year, but actually I support, this club.
No, but what if Tierno Barry's mates would have all turned up with Everton shirts on and either scored, they're all celebrated, they'd love that experience.
Ultimately, though,
so
I get that. No, I get that. But this mightn't have been
or whoever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever it is.
You know what I mean? Ultimately, you might go, oh, I'm here to watch him and this is where he got tickets. But deep down, if you're an Arsenal fan, I wasn't...
That's what I'm saying. What my point is okay, let's take it back and go, okay, the lads playing Arsenal, it's a big game, Arsenal are a big side. It's in London and all of that, and he's got 4 mates, or whoever, forget it's even Tierno Barry, whoever it is, has got 4 mates that want to go. You say to the lads who are going, look, you're in with our fans, so you can't be celebrating if they score or whatever, you know, and don't be, you know what I mean? That should be you're right, it shouldn't happen, but if it did, that should be the prerequisite. You're going in that end with people whose life it is, who are travelling up and down, far and wide,
I get
spending their wages. You can't be.
I do get that, but the problem is though, to me, you've just took 4 tickets off Everton.
Oh, yeah.
Who support their club.
I'm not saying
No,
right.
you're not. I'm just saying
every Premier League club will be the same, yeah.
But it's, to me, if I, you know, I've heard different things this season because with our ground about people getting tickets and people just coming to the game because they want to go to the game, and I just think every time I've had this season, I've had somebody ask me, a family member, if they could have my tickets, and I was just like, no, you don't support Everton. Now I know they don't support another Premier League club, but I'm like, no, you don't support Everton. You cannot have my tickets. You are not having my tickets. Oh, we want to go and see the new stadium. I couldn't care less. You are not an Evertonian. I am never giving my tickets to someone who's not an Evertonian. I am. It's just something I stand by. Other people might just think, oh, it's just one game. There's 1,000. You'll have 1,000 games in your lifetime, whatever it is. It's like, no, that's a viewpoint I have. And for the away end, I've always looked at it like that. It's the same. It's like, no, nobody else should be going in there. Family and couldn't care less whether you're family and friends. There are lots of executive boxes, and there's lots of, if you ring up Arsenal and said, can we get it? Can you find there's a box somewhere, or someone got a box and they won't be there? Jack Grealish allowed the lad off Corrie to go in his box. He was a Man United fan for the Man United game, and somebody else off Corrie or whoever it was. So I got that. They would have gone in there.
His box.
In his box.
Out the way.
They would have behaved themselves, I imagine. But even if they didn't, they were in their own space. No, I've got no issue with that. That's Jack Grealish's personal box. He owns that. He can do what he wants with it. It's not like he was knocking back Everton fans for that. But I just think for the way away tickets are, for me, I just don't agree with it. And I know people at the club will go, oh, what are you talking about, their family? I couldn't care less. This is our football club. And what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks and months is we're going to be having loads of conversations about tickets. I guarantee you we're going to be having lots of conversations. And this just plays another part in it. The situation. We're hearing loads already about tickets. We already know. However, Everton have failed to sell out Hill Dickinson this season.
Well, no, they've sold out. But they failed to have bums on seat in every. Everton have sold out because
there's lots of conversations to be had, and this just adds another layer. And in everything they do, they think they're right, and they're not. And I don't believe they're right in this either. As much as people might want to tell me that they're right, I just don't believe they are. I think going to match is for Everton fans especially the away end. That is like you've got such a. So it's like if we'd gone to Bournemouth, where you get like 1,000 tickets. So if 100 family and friends, do they just get them?
I don't know where did they get 100.
No, but but what I'm saying is though.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
No, but I'm saying how does it work? How does it work?
LTL said I just put the full video up on my channel. Nobody is wearing an Arsenal shirt, and that was the first thing. They had Arsenal tops on. Well, that's not real, is it?
No, that don't
we just put the whole video on.
But they might be wearing an Arsenal polo t-shirt.
But they might not, might they?
No, they might. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I haven't got a clue what's gone on other than your air thing. So I just go, if there's an investigation, like you said, they've got cameras that zoom in and we'll see everything. So those people will have to.
I just think but what I'm saying is I think it's very, very easy. Very, very easy. In your section, it's just Evertonians, and therefore we don't have any of this drama. I totally understand the other side of what went on afterwards. But if they're not there in the first place,
no,
then
that's what I'm saying. So they're gonna have to maybe
cause and effect. Maybe
what comes out of this is that the club take responsibility now and go, right, we're gonna have to have a place in every ground, including our own, for players, the player tickets that get issued for family and friends, and that's the way it is. They're gonna have to, because it can't happen. You don't want it to happen. Say it was one of our best players. You know, people are sort of easily go and get rid of him because they don't like him. Say it was Iliman and Jai who people love, and it was his mates.
Yeah.
Would they be saying get rid of him? I guarantee you they wouldn't. They'd be fuming, but they wouldn't be saying get rid of him. If it was Jared Brantwaite, they wouldn't be saying get rid of him. Jordan Pickford, they wouldn't be saying get rid of him. But that doesn't make it right either. So therefore, let's do it. Let's make sure that those... how can we make sure? But that would be the ideal thing if these clubs could give a section of their ground that isn't in for everyone. And so when Everton go, their mates can go and sit wherever out the way. When they come to Hill Dickinson, whoever team it is, they're out the way. Because it is a sort of... away end's like sacred, isn't it? It's hard to get tickets for. Those people go here, there and everywhere. They spend the money time and time again. They're up at the fucking crack of dawn so many times, getting on a coach, driving. And you're all in it together when you're away. You're all in it together. You want the result. You're there. And for so long, Evertonians they were singing and it would have been, this is brilliant. Arsenal didn't look like they were going to score a goal. And the next minute, they score in the last minute. Which is all, it might have been the 21st minute or something, it mightn't have been the same reaction, but you're right at the end of the game. When you're thinking, just get through that, we've got an unbelievable... And
also, though, I think Barry, by coming out and putting stuff on social media, is just stupid. Like, totally stupid.
They all do it, though.
No, I know, but I think what should have happened is he should have spoke to someone at the club, and the club would have advised them maybe to just leave it.
And they'll put something out.
Because ultimately... You've inflamed the situation and you don't have the full facts.
Yeah.
And that's the other side of it. You don't have the full facts. You have your mate's point of view. And so you don't have the full facts, but you have now opened it up to the world. And I think, that's where maybe, and he's done it twice. So he's almost like he's having a conversation with the fan base as well. And that's just never going to end well for a footballer. It's never going to end well.
Well, listen, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. And we'll see as the investigation goes and all of that. But yeah, we'll see. But it can't carry, that can't be the right thing, can it? It can't be the right thing.
No.
You can't be going in an end that's full of fans and celebrating if that's what he did when Arsenal scored. What do you expect? Like running through, coming out the game, running past them all, going, isn't it? Someone probably gonna, if you walk past the wrong person, someone's gonna crack you.
Of course,
aren't they? They're gonna give you the crack. You walk out quietly and walk away from a ground and not really saying anything. Yeah. Mostly no one's gonna do it.
It's the real world.
No, that's what I mean.
There's too many people who...
it's like anything.
Yeah, it's too many people who think like, it isn't a utopian society. This is the real world. You are going to get a crack. It's just reality. Whether we agree with it, whether we don't agree with it, it's just reality, isn't it? Football fans, any football fans, I mean, a lot of sport, any sports, they're just not going to put up with it. And, occasionally you see those videos from America where fans do sit amongst themselves, where people push it too far, and they're made it. And it's like, football's actually, because most of us understand the rules. Yeah. There's an etiquette.
No, there is an etiquette, of course there is. There's an etiquette to it. You just don't do it, do you? Because we're all emotional, aren't we? I walked out of Hill Dickinson with loads of Sunderland fans and walked along with them. They just knocked us out the FA Cup. They were sound, they weren't trying to laud it. They had a conversation right the way along the road. We would, and all that. And no Everton fan was going up because they weren't doing anything. Yeah. They were just walking out. And that etiquette.
They're just a football fan.
We've played the game. Their team has won. And we're walking out. No one's rubbing it in anyone's face. No one's singing. No one's doing all that. You walked along and everyone walked home together, kind of thing. And all of that, you know what I mean? Now, had they been going, and all that, like in your face, someone would have filled them in, wouldn't he? So, yeah, it's not great though, regardless. And for someone who doesn't have much credit in the bank, it's not great. It's not great. AJ said, would a coach welcome a Hill Dickinson work? And where would it be? Will it be on the steps, wouldn't it? That's because that's been sort of designed for that. But it would work. within reason. It'd have to be limited, I think, to get you that. But it would work. That's the whole point of that, is that you can do it there. But when would they do it and all that, isn't it? If it was a big occasion, I'm sure the club would be fine with it, yeah. Phil says, can't be too disheartened by Saturday's results. Until they scored, we were the better team overall and had the better chances, especially in the first half. If we'd have been more ruthless and had better options going forward, we'd have got the game wrapped up by half-time. The Sky commentary, though, it stunk the gaff out.
Bad.
I don't know how you can have Alan Smith commenting on Arsenal, commentating. I say the same thing about Jamie Carragher with Liverpool. I say the same thing about Gary Neville with Manchester United. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And I'll say it. I'll take it one step further. Wrexham v Swansea Friday night had Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney.
That was on a separate channel.
Don't give a shit.
No, I know.
Where was Swansea's? Where was Joe Allen? Where was the Welsh Zavvi?
Snoop Dogg wasn't available.
Or Snoop. Do you know what I mean? But
I actually listened to the Wrexham one.
But that's because you like Wrexham. Imagine if you didn't like Wrexham.
But it was on a separate channel.
Don't care.
But it was less.
Where's Swansea?
It was less biased than Alan Smith.
Yeah,
because it was more just them talking about the club. It wasn't like commentary. It was like just them talking about the club. It was just background noise as it went on. It wasn't like...
No, what was really mad about Alan Smith on Saturday was sort of, first of all, a penalty that never was. If that was a penalty, you get 17 penalties a game. A little bit of contact doesn't mean it's a penalty, by the way. He went on about that. But he said in the opening 15 minutes, I'm being surprised by Everton. I thought they might have sat back, but they're absolutely not doing it. And then 20 minutes later, he said, Everton just haven't come out this half. They're happy to sit on the edge of the box. I'm like, if you just rewind a little bit out, you said we'd really gone at them and surprised Arsenal that first 15. Now you're saying we haven't come out, we just sat. It was like, you're contradicting. And then in the first half, he went, Everton will be happy, it's 0-0. We had all the chances, they had nothing. They didn't have anything. Did they? They had one that Jordan pushed away. I think he was coming in on. Didn't really have anything of note, really. We had the post. McNeil probably should have scored, but it was a great block. Dewsbury all made Raya make a good save. I just didn't get it. I couldn't understand, but that's what they do. They've gone so far the other way, Sky. They don't actually care if anyone's offended on it. They don't care. They just go, these are the team we're bothered about, so we don't care. Anyway, Nate says, I don't know if I'm happy or angry about the match on Saturday. Took it to the current best team in the league for the whole game and could have been ahead if luck would have went our way. But at the same time, it's same old Everton came away with nothing. Yeah. We've done that bit. We've done the Barry bit. Paul Davies, all right, lads. We didn't get the respect we deserved on Saturday from anyone covering the game. Alan Smith was an embarrassment on co-commentary, and having two cop-outs in the studio didn't help with Daniel Sturridge. I didn't listen to him. Daniel Sturridge, I've just forgot. He's terrible. Yeah. He's absolutely terrible. James says, welcome back. Big man. Daniel Church says, afternoon, lads. When I seen the lineup, I'll be honest, I thought it'd be a walk in the park for Arsenal. But give the lads credit, they played brilliantly, including McNeil, Timmy and Garner were close on my man of the match. Simon Taylor says, hi lads, did you suffer the same misfortune as I did on Saturday? Watching on Sky with a commentator and co-commentator who made the whole game seem like Arsenal fan TV. Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. It really was. It was terrible. Stephen Biggs says another overly media-hyped game. Bias for Arsenal, sickening. Really poor performance in the last 10 minutes to lose like that. Not only is our goal difference taking a hit, but now Newcastle have gained on us. We also lost Vaughan's record as the youngest goal scorer. It's classic Everton, isn't it? Lose the record to the team you're playing against with a manager who was playing for you when the record was broken. You know, nothing could be more Everton than that, surely. But, yeah. It was frustrating. Well, it was gutting. It wasn't frustrating, it was gutting because they didn't deserve it. And it's always like, if you're going to get beat 2-0, score on 57, 71. Don't fucking score in the 89th minute. It's so depressing when you look like you've done all the work. But it's so annoying. It's so annoying. James Graham said it's become accepted now to just have commentary bias
No, it
on
is.
Sky.
It is. It's just one of those things, isn't it? They just don't care. It's all out in the open, isn't it? It's just no one's asked anymore. It makes me laugh because I've like bit me lip, but in the last few weeks or so, all this hype about like, oh, it's terrible having YouTubers going on Sky Sports News.
Who said this?
No, like you see it, don't you? And it's like, I don't pay for this. It's like, mate, well, number one, they're on at 10 o'clock in the morning when you'll the only alternative is that other bellend who's at Talk Sport. What's his name? Who gets legged? What's his name? Come on, James.
Jamie O'Hara.
So you can either listen to him, right, talking absolute bollocks, or you can listen to maybe a fan now and again who actually knows something about his football club, right? So people moan about that. I don't pay for. So you pay for Daniel Sturridge to fucking strut on a catwalk to show what Max or Jamie Redknapp, who honestly, right, just stick to modelling fucking coats, right, that heat up because you make them, right? You just stick to that.
Good idea, though.
Oh, it's a good idea. I like it. Like, because honestly, we have been around this industry for 12 years and we have been in the rooms with these people, and the knowledge that these people know is like buttons. Absolute nonsense. They see you and they come over and they want to know to try and tap in to what you know, so that when they go on, Clinton Morrison, for God's sake, Clinton Morrison knows nothing about anything.
Doesn't even really know about Palace.
Honest to God. Yes, and sketches, slip-on trainees. How old do you have to be to need slip-on trainees? For God's sake. They're the kind of things that they used to sell in the back of Sunday magazines, remember? To make your life easier. Like a fucking walk-in bath. Like a walk-in bath. For God, does Jamie Redknapp have a walk-in bath? Honestly.
I think
over 50 plans. Jamie should be doing one of them as well. Right.
Well, he is.
There.
Just about to be, so.
You've got these fellas who know nothing about football, and yet they parade them out because they're dead good. They're dead lively. All it is, and we've said this for years, they took Arsenal Fan TV. They took different characters of all the different people on it, all the angry head, the intelligent one, the fella who looks into stats, this fella, that fella, and that's all they've done on Sky Sports News. They've got your Uncle Knobhead, Roy Keane. You've got your dead lively cousin, Micah Richards. And then they've got fellas who are like legends at their different clubs, and they just plonk them on there every week, and it's like, that's it. And they used to be, when Carragher and Neville started, it was a new thing. Ex-players who were really intelligent, who just left the game. Now it's all these characters, and honestly, absolutely. You know what? You're right. They'll probably put someone on wearing a dry robe. That'll be the next thing. Someone goes on in a dry robe. The dry robe hour. He's just got out of a large body of water and he sticks his dry robe on and he goes on and he talks about footy. Good luck to you.
Okay. I do laugh.
Sorry, that's been about 3 weeks in the making, that.
I do laugh that people will say, like, but they think that because it's an ex-player, they're getting intelligent information. It is odd. It's very, very odd that people's views, but listen, fair play. It's rubbish now, yeah. It's rubbish. Some of the people they have on, it's just, they have Dermot Gallagher on.
Yeah.
So, you didn't even need to.
They have the other fella on, what's his name? Mike Dean.
And they have Mike Dean.
Mike Dean, who admitted to cheating in a Premier League football match. A man who admitted cheating on VAR because he didn't want to upset his mate. So he literally cheated a team out of a goal. He openly admitted that, and yet Sky still use him.
Of course they do, because it helped them. Aye, Phil Everton, it's a bit harsh. Redknapp's only on to keep the mums happy, a bit like Baz on here. That feels harsh.
Baz doesn't wear slip-on shoes.
I don't wear slip-on shoes, and I know quite a bit about football, unlike Jamie. But I saw it's like a sort of backhanded compliment that in a way.
He's
Phil.
the worst.
This is a corner.
He's the
this
worst.
is a throw-in.
No, I mean he's Michael Owen levels, isn't he? Michael Owen. At least Michael Owen won, and he tells us quite a lot that he won the Ballon d'Or. Like
Won stuff. Yeah. Mad.
Honestly, this is where I don't get the argument about it. Like fan TV or fan media or whatever YouTube channels. This is where I never understand when people go get proper. Who are these amazing pundits?
No, but they're only people who don't like what people are doing. They're jealous of it or something.
It's just mad. It's just dead mad.
Oh, fair enough, Phil. Love you then. Love you, mate. Listen, if you want a night with Ked and Sheedy, Alan Myers is hosting one on Friday the 17th. He should have been doing something with us, but he forgot and is doing this instead. But fair play. It's Friday the 17th of April, it's Derby weekend, 2026, from 7 p.m. 25 quid. The ticket includes a hot buffet. It is at 310 Park Road North, the community hub in Birkenhead. So if you're interested in going to listen to Ked and Sheedy talk, you can you can contact laura.akcommunity@gmail.com if you want to go there. There's another one that a Gary Ablett night on that night as well. So we're putting information out for that one very shortly. So look out for that as well. But Ped's had a good rant, and that's good. That's it, he's back. LTL says Dermot Gallagher, Alan Pardew, Merson Gallagher, and the rest. Yeah.
But, that's just, again, it blows my mind. Andy Hinchcliffe.
Andy Hinchcliffe.
Jeez.
Andy. Emma, I promise you I will.
Andrew
I absolutely promise. It'll be before the end of the season, I promise you. And I've been saying it, but I will. I will. Carla says the fan channels know far more about their club than people in the media do. Ian says, question, Baz and Ped, the blue shirt wall behind you should be like the main home end at Bramley Moor Dock. Do you agree with me?
No.
What do you mean?
Which you wearing blue?
I don't know what he means. I thought he meant like.
Which you wearing different types of.
Oh yeah. It's, again.
Oh, okay.
You can't tell fans what to wear, especially Everton fans. They'll never listen to you. They go the opposite in spite.
Right, take it easy. Now, we will be back at 4:30.
Hear me now.
Emma, I promise you I will. I promise you. We'll be back at 4:30.
We'll find out what shift you're on and then we'll put it on the one you're off on.
To make sure you're there, Emma.
But if you come in a dry robe, there's a no dry robe policy, Emma.
Can't be doing that.
You can't be wearing your dry robe.
Can't be doing that.
I've seen your arm bootle.
Yeah, there you go. R4 on Patreon Premier is the final word live. It'll be out later on. Thanks to everyone. Brilliant comments and questions and all that today. Great interaction. Evo Goody just to finish as Chelsea got a slap on the wrist then. No points deduction, a small fine and a meaningless suspended.
There'll never be points deductions ever again.
No. City are getting away with it as well. City will get 20 million pound fine or something. That's it. Something like that, aren't they? But nice one, everyone. Make sure you like and subscribe. Just go and subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead.
Hey, you.
Subscribe. See you later. Bye.